What's up, guys? It's Ron, and we're back with another Cars and Bids email review. Okay, if you didn't see my other video, you know that I love cars and I love Doug DeMuro. So we're doing July 28th. This is my daily synopsis, and I just love talking about the cool cars, what I would buy with my $1 million garage, but let's get to it. I got a sweet Ferrari 360. Oh, it's a gated manual. This is sweet. You know, I think if it was my first Ferrari, I would want red, but yellow is a close second. I love these wheels. I either like these wheels or the Challenge 360 wheels, but you know, it's just a great looking car. It's really aged well, and when we get to the interior, I mean, let's just look at this. This is the epitome of Ferrari. I've got a lot of photos. It's a Canadian car. Oh no, we got a discount for those loonies. That's like Monopoly money, right? Let's get to the interior. Killing me. All right, gated manual. I mean, that's worth the price premium right there. It would just be so cool to have one of these and rowing through the gears. 8500 red line. Very cool. Interior looks in good shape. Bid at 51,000. You know, 24,000 miles. Crazy. People put that many miles in a single year. Again, it's going to go for a lot more than 50. You know, I'd say over 100. But it's got an aftermarket exhaust, US spec gauges. But there was a little accident. I think back in 2006. It's not going to be a collector car, but you know, otherwise it's a fine looking choice if you've got 100,000 to burn. 1982 Porsche 911 will definitely click in because it's a popular car, but it just doesn't start to collect the money that 993s do, or you know, even some of the earlier 997s are getting great pricing. Again, it's a cool Porsche. I don't want to discount it. I see these at the racetrack. This one looks a little bit rough, but it's a great project. You know, I talked about that earlier. If you're looking for a project to do and restore, so. All right, we're looking at this kind of rough. Oh, that's real rough. Lots of paint chips. You know, this would be like a body off restoration, full paint. I mean, really, this just even needs paint correction, but this is a pretty rough example. I don't think I would want this car as a restoration unless I was doing something crazy like a wide body. Interior looks good though, actually. You know, the seats could stay if you don't go aftermarket. I kind of like the tan leather. The black and tan is pretty iconic. It's a manual, so let's see what else we got. AutoZam AZ1. I know Doug loves these cars. I don't even want to look at it. I just it doesn't do anything for me. It has cool knockoff wheels. It kind of looks F40-ish. It kind of looks like a weird Mazda Celica something. Well, it's got gull wing doors, but I don't know. This is just a weird K car. I wouldn't do anything. I would not pay $12,000 for this. I mean, it's quirky. Okay, it's a quirky car, Doug. You win. What else? ATS V Coupe. You know, interesting. I think people really like this car, but as two doors, it's kind of limiting. You know, in terms of who you want this for. I was really looking into these cars when I wanted the CTS V as kind of a high horsepower sedan. I ended up with a Volvo, so kind of different, but now I'm in my Porsche, so I'm happy and for speed, and I get my satisfaction from hauling the kids around. But 20,000, you know, I think these cars are pretty good. They're gonna go for a decent price, but you get a lot of car. You get 400 horsepower, twin turbo V6. All right, this is a little agate gray 718. Oh no, not a 987. So this is the last gen Porsche. You know, it looks good. It's still got the factory OEM amber turn signals. This one looks like it's in great shape. A couple of options here, aftermarket or optional factory wheels. And, you know, this it's a good car. If you're looking for a weekend car or even like a daily, I guess, it's coming from California. I'm not sure if these are some creases in the soft top, but that's one reason that I got away from a convertible. I just didn't want to deal or have any stress of a soft top. Yeah, these are definitely creases. This top has been stored in a down position or just kept down for a long time, and you can definitely start to see those. I think they'll come out in the sun, but no guarantee. So Boxster S got a little more power. This makes it a fun car. PDK, easy to drive. A little scratch there, but that's pretty minor. I would say it's expected for a 7-year-old car, or no, what is it? A 2014 9-year-old car. I mean, it's old, right? It's 300 horsepower, flat six, but I think these values will hold. It's the last of that flat six. So, do we like this big F-250? Kind of cool, but too old for me. Ford Bronco, only as a base for a project. This thing needs a lot of love, and this is a project car. I can't imagine voluntarily buying something with cloth seats again. It's just it gives me the ick. This dash, is busted. But again, if you want something as a base for a project, these Broncos can look super cool with some restoration. 2011 Z06. These are one of the best cars. LOL buy. I like it. So this one's got exhaust. It's got some flashy wheels. These cars are fast. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of aftermarket support. They're fast on the track. They have a great handling. They can pull those high G's. 28,000 miles, which is great. It's low mileage. Not sure if whether it's been abused, but at least it's a clean title. And it'd be a good platform. It's got Z07 package as well, 3LZ. It's a premium car with a lot of mods. So it really just depends on how comfortable you are with those mods. Let's look at this Supra. I'm surprised it's all the way down here. Usually the classic 90s trifecta, right? You get your Supra, RX-7, I don't know what else. For the Japanese big three, but these usually get a lot more love at 67,000. It's stock. It's white. It's a good car. I like the Fast and Furious plate. It's a good reference for Paul Walker. So why isn't this car going for $100,000? That's what these got up to during COVID. And this one looks like a good example. It looks very clean. Alignment is nice on the pieces. The headlights are in good shape. Stock wheels, black plastic. I mean, these photos are a little bit whitewashed out. They're over exposed for the balance, right? I'm not a photographer, but something's up with that. It's hurting my eyes. It's a cool car. Again, if you want something as a platform, I love the Targa. I think it's a fun car. If you want to build something cool off of a mostly stock car. This is a manual transmission. What's not to love? Only 88,000. I mean, plastics here on the dash a little bit worn. You could get new ones. You could take them out and restore them with some Plasti Dip. Lots of choices here. Again, I think this is a clean example. It's going to go for a good price. Everybody loves this car against the Supra, the Celica. That was your high horsepower day, I guess, Corvettes as well. Escalade, Fiat, Spider, Mini Cooper. What is this firetruck? I mean, if you're going to get a little mini car, I guess it's something cool like this. This is for your 4th of July parades. You might be able to use it as a farm truck. I don't know, but it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance, so it's really for city driving only. It's cool in a weird way. At least it's more practical than the K car, the A to Z, AZ1. But yeah, they are also quirky. This is a Doug car for sure, but it's got those cloth seats. I guess it's a fun car for putting around somewhere instead of a golf cart. This is basically if you have a little bit farther to drive than your golf cart can take you, but this is a fun car to pile in, and definitely quirky. So we have a 2016 M3. These prices have really come down. Look at that, 25,000. I know it's going to sell for more, but man, you can get a lot of power, a lot of capability, sport seats, and only 10,000 miles. You're going to get this for a pretty cheap price. I think these are some great values if people are looking for more practical four-door cars that can also run on the track. Great example, and they'll run you for a long time. 2001 M5, again, this kind of goes in my stable. I've always wanted to have one. I think they're great cars. This one's a little worn, but would also be a fun kind of restoration project, resto mod, depending on how aggressive. But it's got those back seats. Throw your kids in the back and drive them to school with taste. Truly tasteful 400 horsepower car. What else do we have? A Shelby F-150, 775 horsepower. IS. Let's see, boring. Don't buy a 7-year-old Audi, please. Those are tough. But again, I think that older M5, you got a lot more class than driving them in this. But if you have the money, you can get a newer car. It just doesn't have that personality, and it's not a manual transmission sedan. So it really just depends on how much comfort and modern technology you need. But if you want to have a classy car, that M5 checks the box. See, I don't feel like this interior is as exciting. I'll still take a restored M5 that you put your blood, sweat, and tears and busted knuckles into, but this will definitely sell for more. But let's see what else. We have an old Tesla, old Mercedes. These Rivians are still popping up. I don't know if people still want these. It looks like they're able to flip them for more than the price they paid because of just limited demand. But I think these cars look great in terms of big SUV styling. They check the box. They look good, and the fact that they're electric, that just kind of increases their appeal. Oh, if this is in San Diego, looks like something outside of Balboa. Let's see where it's coming. Oh, San Diego. Ron wins the prize for recognizing the exterior. Again, old BMW. Don't buy this unless you hate yourself and you just want to be solving problems. But these cars are reliable, but lots of things break, and I would classify them as annoyance things. But they are decent if you want that big sedan and if you have a plan for it. Lincoln Navigator Limousine. Again, interesting, quirky. I guess somebody wants it for $33,000. Even these 996s, I'm starting. The egg yolk is starting to grow on me. It's a chance to own a turbo. I mean, this is a great car. If you can get over the headlights, the rest of the car is just fantastic. So to conclude, love the 996. I mean, we love the turbo, and I think the 996 is kind of growing on me. That rear end is just phenomenal. Interior is dated, but we get it. It's a race car. It's manual. Again, I think as maybe a platform for some modern bucket seats, lightweight bucket seats. You could make a couple of updates here. But this is a driver's car. I don't think you're buying it now to daily, a 20-year-old turbo Porsche, but this gets a check in my book. How about a slant nose Porsche? These are cool. I really think these could be more of a collector. I like that they look different, and they're not just like a 964 and like an older 993. These are different. They're unique. They've got the hood vents, the slats, louvers. It's just an aggressive looking car. I love the whale tail. It's really just kind of a fun car. This one's got a roll bar in it. It looks good. I mean, I just like it as a different, it just looks different. So $18K, it's a fun weekend car. You can put some better wheels and tires. You can lower it. And again, this is an interior that's classic. I think it's aging well. But definitely a cool car for the weekend, for the summer. 300ZX, again, maybe that was the missing link in my 90s trio, but these twin turbos were so popular. I know there was a kid in my high school, he had one, and he was a cool kid. But yeah, this looks like a car in great shape. The paint looks great. It's a fun car, one of the T-top generation, which I had T-tops on a Camaro. I had an LS1 Camaro with T-tops. Super fun car. If the price is no factor, I'd much rather spend more for a Supra, but this is probably comparable to just something, might as well get a Corvette, and probably faster. But no, these are nostalgic cars that I think the people buying these are coming into more money. Rear wheel steering, T-top. This is second generation, 300 horsepower. So, or this car. I mean, this great car, Laguna Seca. I guess it's not but LSB. These are the 18-inch small wheels, but great sounding engine. This one's in great shape. Well, I don't know if it's just a reflection there. But again, fun cars, a little bit heavy, a little bit more room, maybe more luxury. But I think some of that old luxury stuff, it just turns into more sources for squeaks and rattles and more things to break and heavier weight to roll over the suspension. But it's a manual, it's convertible, it's a fun car if you want something for the weekend to tool around in and spend a little bit more than an older Porsche. But I love the E46 Macan Turbo. Again, 8 years old. I mean, it's fast, but it's gonna start having rattles. S2000. These are still cool cars. They're holding their value and they're fun. I think this is a different one than we looked at before, but R32 GTI, Honda Civic Si. I mean, cool cars, but not really. I don't know. I don't see the use for it. It's cool to have, but are you really going to want to drive it? I think convertibles get fun. Manuals. Well, this is a manual. Scion FRS. This one's got a lot of mods. Civic Type R. These things are going for crazy prices for new ones. Again, old Range Rovers. If you want that classic Long Island, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard. These are all classic. Maybe a SRT Hellcat wide body. It's a fun car. This is definitely a go fast. If you want to do donuts and burnouts everywhere you go, this is the car I would get for that. But 60,000, that's steep. That's maybe for somebody who wants a daily driver. I don't know, but. Yeah, I think these interiors are really fun. They're updated, and they're not terrible. They're good interiors. Fiat, old Mercedes, Nissan, none of these cars really, I think, are that interesting. Maybe this one, 740, but I just don't know what you do with it. You drive around town, but it's only in the summer when you're not in a rush. You don't need to go anywhere, but maybe you need to move 3 of your big friends. I do like the house, though. This is a nice house in Burbank. It's got quite the entry. And it's, it just looks like one of these old money cars. That's what I was looking for. It looks like old money cars. They can pay a mechanic $5,000 to restore a $7,000 Range Rover, but because you're old money. But if you have to be budget conscious, don't buy a 7-year-old Audi S6, no matter how tempting that twin turbo V8 is. Another Rivian. Well, that's it for today's sum up. I don't really love the cars other than opening with that very strong Ferrari. Not a lot here that really got me excited, but smash that like button, subscribe for more Cars and Bids reviews.